You're awakened, aren't you?
Mm, in some moments I don't feel like that.
What's that on your arm? Is it a tattoo?
Oh, I forgot to pick up. You know, it's a funny thing. That's a really big definition after awakening. You just begin to forget things all the time because there is just moment and reaction, but has to be some training done to keep the focus on material stuff, not to forget it all around.
So is your attention like scattered all the time, or is it too focused on something else?
Well, I think it's just some childish, carefree attitude that appeared more. Before, I used to control a lot. Like, I used to be hyper controlling person. So I remember I was going to my work, for example, and on the way to work, I would think 3 times: did I lock the door? Should I return? Should I check the door? Or did I change money and send it to savings account? Or what if the payment was taken out? What if it didn't? I was constantly controlling. And after awakening, it's like a bit opposite into carefree position where sometimes it plays against me and pushes me to inner responsibility for what is happening more and more, and it's interesting. But I could see more how life is constantly interacting with me, and there is beauty even in those moments because there is so much more trust happening. So yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, so you like, I don't care, or you just trust to whatever is happening?
It's
Is it more like
neither. It's neither like only that or only that. It's, you see, it's interesting because life is my continuation, and after awakening, it's so clear that there is no a single chance for me not to be aware of that everything that happens in my life, it's only because of me. There is no one to blame. So I cannot be, so to say, I don't care. I see that only I can change it, and I see that I created it. But I don't worry about it, like over worrying. And there is no anxiety as such, there is just happening and reaction. Happening, improvement. Happening, let's create, like that.
So you don't blame others anymore? Like you don't blame circumstances? Do you take full responsibility for everything that is happening?
It's an interesting question when you say, do you? Because my ego can try to do stuff still, and I see it clearly. Yet I feel that I'm not the ego, and it's stupid when I begin to like play with the ego. I clearly see that it has nothing to be with the reality. So when I return to who I am, or it's always there actually. When I look at that side, it's there is no question. Is there anyone to blame? There is no one to blame. But if you ask me about my interaction with my mom, for example, being my boss, my ego is getting tickled from all of the sides trying to get some reaction. It's funny. Yeah. So I can see definitely that after awakening, ego isn't disappearing and that there is still lots of tension around it. Yet now it's so visible and so not me that it's easier to shift faster. Shift and keep on moving further. It's, you know.
So do you mean that you stopped identifying yourself with the tension that being created from some situations and some people around you?
Tension is also me, as everything be, but I'm not just the tension. And that's what's cool about it. Because I don't have to narrow down to that only tension. And I can have a wider look at what's going on, because this tension is only just a tiny little thing of what is happening. So I can choose whether to get involved and play in this tension and make it the biggest thing happening right now, or I can come back to my purpose, my big tasks, and go from there.
Are you awakened?
Yes. Who is awakening?
Is Anna awakened?
You know, Anna couldn't ever possibly be awakened because Anna isn't existing. Anna is just a number of concepts that was created. And what's awakening is like this thing that is perceiving through Anna everything that's happening. It's like it always was there, but it was not visible to me. And then at some point it begins like, oh, I'm also that. And this is the awakening. It's like the attention expands to the thing that was fogged out by the sleep before, like a dark area. And then there is this light turned on, and that's how it's happening.
So can you say that your attention became stronger, so you can observe more than just yourself at the moment? Or is it something with not identifying yourself with that concept of Anna?
I still am with it, so I cannot say that I cut off myself of it. I see it as part of me. Anna being character is just my hand, or like a tool or instrument to express this infinite being which I have awakened to in this material world. And it's like just a hand that I'm using in this material reality. Yet what I am, it's much bigger than that. And that creates so much freedom in the way I can use this character. I can use this character to be expressive on performance stage. I can use this character to play a female role and get in love and create some romantic relationship. Or I can use this character to play a teacher role and help people to get to know some depths of the knowledge. Yet, no matter what role this character plays, it doesn't change what stands behind it. And that is always experienced after awakening. Before awakening, it was just not there. It was not visible. And there was this constant discomfort of just being this narrow me, narrow Anna. And now it's, oh, Anna is also there. But it's so cool that I'm not just Anna.
Could you say that Anna is a small part of you?
Yeah.
And what is the rest then, if it's not Anna?
It's experience of what is here and what fulfills it. In Buddhism, they call it living emptiness, this energy that's behind it. In the moment, it feels, if I try to put it into words, something like this happening behind the picture that fulfills everything with energy. And my attention, depending on in which area of this material world I direct it, becomes alive from this energy. So it could be like, you can try to describe it as field of energy. Yet it's not like what mind can imagine. Because I remember before awakening hearing that sort of stuff, like, oh, you become an energy. And my mind straight away was imagining, oh, I would feel like sea energies flowing. And it's nothing like that. It's like this presence that never changed, that always was there. And actually, when I was awakening and that process was happening quite smooth for me, the first things that I was noticing, that suddenly I appear somewhere, but I never went anywhere. And then again, oh, I'm here, but I never went anywhere. So I'm sitting in the car and I'm feeling like I never moved. I'm eating food behind the table and I'm feeling like I never moved. And then that feeling, my mind was like, oh, hey, Anna, something weird is happening. Like, starting noticing that, oh, your perception somehow shifted. But because it was happening so smoothly, it wasn't like a dramatic, it was like a sudden chick, 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 and whoop, here I am.
So how did you become awakened? Was you doing any practices? Did it take any effort from you?
Oh, so much effort. And not so much of outer actions either. It had to be proven by some outer actions, as creating special circumstances to complete the inner work that was allowing me to switch the light on. So what was separating me from awakening is this muddy glass, just bunch of tensions and concepts that were not allowing, and this attachment with Anna so strong, that was not allowing me to see wider than Anna. And the practices I started doing, they were slowly and slowly and slowly pushing me towards life, looking into it, making connection with it, being grateful towards it, stopping inwardly. And all that helped, and at the end created perfect situation when this dirt was just washed off. So first I did a little session with this guy that was cleansing chakras, as he called it, and I felt that there is something more. I was the next day I went to work, and my girlfriends from work, "Oh, Anna, what changed to you? You look so relaxed." And I was like, "I was meditating." And that was really funny because I never meditated before. My mom was doing kundalini yoga before, and I was looking at her and thinking, "Oh my god, you look so funny. You just with all these white hats and kundalini breathing and so on and so on." I just laughed at her. And here, for the first time, with this chakra cleansing session, the guy told me, "Close your eyes, pay attention into your body, and just observe the sensations." That was the first kind of meditation I ever did, and he helped with his attention, with his energy. And the next morning I felt being in different state. And before that I had this strong anxiety over days and this control that I was speaking about before, and here it was released a bit, so I could feel this big difference. And ever since, I was living back then in Australia, the knowledge was somewhere in Russian, so I was preparing to make a bigger step in the conditions I was. So I was doing just daily practice for 15 minutes in the morning and the evening until I was ready to take a serious step, which was online course and then my first ever retreat. And that's where the biggest changes began to happen. So to say that one single moment changed me and brought me to awakening, I couldn't say so. It was a series of courses, inner decisions, inner changes and outer actions that brought me to this point. But all worked because I was determined and because I truly wanted to see who I am and be free. I wanted freedom. That was my inner drive, because I was so tired of sitting in that box that keeping me tense and creating these complaints and demands, and I was so tired of myself that I just wanted to either well, I wasn't ready to do suicide, but yeah, the inner desire was just to shut off my mind, you know. Like, shut up, stop speaking.
If I wake up in the morning with a good mood, you know, if I achieve goals in life, me personally, I have a great family, I make good money, you know, I can be in a good mood when I want to, I wake up in the morning with joy. Am I awakened?
Do you perceive yourself more than your personality?
I don't think so.
Then probably not. The thing is that when we still asleep, we can even be in a very comfortable sleep. So we can create a good family relationship, get the most beautiful car, buy a new sofa, watch Netflix each weekend, go to cinemas, like visit friends, and have what's called pretty life, the dream life, like everything was supposed to be. Yet it doesn't mean that internally you feel free, or you know who you truly are, or why you came here, or you just live by the number of some concepts. And awakening shows what life actually is, that it's not number of concepts, that it's out of concepts, and that all life before was made only by concepts, and that was keeping you very narrow. And here what's called expansion of perception happens, because your attention gets dragged out of concepts. And that changes completely, because you see that who you thought you are is not you. who you thought was important to support, protect, fight with others, to support this, I'm prime, no one should go against my character, and so there is no need, and this huge tension of supporting your individuality, just like, and that's the biggest moment ever of this happiness, because you feel finally free. And only then, journey begins. It's not the end, even. So yeah, that's actually the next fun part about it. That it's only beginning, and you feel it. Because now you feel like, oh my God, now I know where to move. Everything, for me it was like, everything I played before, the games. Building a career, moving countries, making beautiful relationships, traveling. Everything had an end. Like, it felt like it's too little to be my life purpose. And here, when awakening happens, bigger purpose of life reveals. Because this energy that was never there before is now opening like a whole side of life that wasn't perceived, and the desire to expand it, to learn it more, to discover what's the essence of it, and and feeling of that I'm transmitting it into this material form, and I can fulfill this life with energy, is so much interesting, so much more interesting than making any money, than creating any kind of character vision and reaching any number of followers on Instagram. This life that I can create in each moment is so much more interesting, and this is true life. So if for example you ask majority of people, let's say, imagine today is the last day of your life.
Okay.
Did you live the life you want?
Probably not.
Usually, like, if you ask yourself honestly, did I achieve my most sacred dream? Or did I live for myself in the moment and did what I really wanted? The answer would be no. Because we usually live when we're asleep, running after goal, after goal, after goal, and when we chase goals, each time we reach it, we get disappointed, or like it fulfills us for some time, and then we keep on running for the next one and the next one, and then when you come at the end of your life, you see that you never truly lived. And the life was always there in that exact moment, and you still were missing it. You still were not paying attention to it. Not paying attention to this kid that was standing there wanting your attention, and were separating yourself from experiencing that God, or this very deep inclusion in that moment with that kid, or you wanted to say something or express your talent, the talent of the character, and express this energy of life through yourself, on being honest, but you never did because you were scared of the reaction, of what you will look like, or what people will say, or what will, if you will fail, oh my God, it's better to go the way that is more profound and you will get stable income, rather than go and do what makes you feel happy and create happiness through your being in that moment. So your being was always unhappy, but rather thinking about some idea that's supposed to make you happy. And
Okay.
in awakening, it's out of all concepts. You see that any concept is just a concept. And there is nothing more important than connection with life and how you can be deeper in it in this moment. And that's what's interesting.
So being asleep basically means that you afraid of doing something in your life, or what exactly does it mean, being in sleep?
Being not free from your ideas. So fear, it's an idea. Idea what is right or what is right in this life for me is also just a concept. It's an idea of your mind. Idea of who you are. Well, I am Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm 24 years old, I do that, I'm pretty girl, and blah, blah. It's also just a concept. And when we believing in that, we are limited by that. Because anything that tries to wobble this idea, let me just take away this idea of who you are. You will be protecting it. So you are asleep. As soon as you not as soon as you feel that you are not that, you are not dependent on these ideas anymore. And there is this other quality of interaction with life. It's weird words because there is no such experience while living in mind, except maybe when you use drugs or something like that, when you feel intensity of the moment, and that's the most interesting. After awakening, it happens very naturally, and each moment is like possibility to experience that intensity and create that intensity by using the character, but not being the character. I don't know, I'm keep on turning around the same words, and I know that it sounds very strange because it's like a metaphysical experience that I'm trying to pack in this box of some concepts, but you know, it's out of concepts. So it's, yeah.
And I know that you've used some drugs before a long time ago. Was it something similar to the awakening experience? Does it give you kind of same feeling of reality?
It definitely gives expanded perception of reality, and I had different experience. I was searching for some depths, and drugs were giving me that experience for a little spark moment. Yet I remember when I was having experiences, at some point my mind would turn on, and because I was still, like, you know, knowing that mind is something I should believe in, it may have panicked, and I may get stuck in those panics because I believe in that. And even though my, let's say, subtle structures were awakened, so I could feel the world more vivid with each cell of mine, the vibration, the impulses, see vibrations and impulses here in the world. It's very similar to what is happening after awakening, yet there is still was mind in between this experience and the picture and the reality. So it would give me paranoia or some idea, so not always, but it was still there. It was still analyzing or evaluating what was happening, and I would be living it. And after awakening, there is no mind in between me and reality. So the life becomes more real. It's real life. Not the ideas about life, but direct perception of life. Taste of it.